copywriters, thanks for joining me here today. I'd like to spend a few minutes talking about overcoming obstacles in our business and really in our life. This is an article I recently wrote for our newsletter, The Copywriting Connection, which you can sign up for free at www.thecopywritinginstitute.com. But I was watching this interview this weekend with Lady Gaga. Actually, Oprah Winfrey was interviewing Lady Gaga. And I find her fascinating. Her youth and the level of success she's achieved is fascinating. And also how she's so doesn't worry about what anyone thinks, and just if she sets her mind to do something, she just goes and does it and really follows her intuition, is what I believe. And she was talking about how she started a new nonprofit helping educate teens about bullying, both the victim and the bully. And the interview went on about several things, but Lady Gaga talked about how she reaches kind of a fork in the road or a block, and the process that she goes through before she starts on a new project or a new venture. And she talked about how she literally locks herself in a room for 2 or 3 weeks or more sometimes, and she visually she sees a locked door, and she, like, knowing Lady Gaga's personality, the way she was describing it, I could picture her stomping down the hallway to that locked door and seeing that it was locked and banging on the door. And her determination is to break down that door and get through it, because the door represents what's stopping her or blocking her from stepping into the next phase of her life and her growth. And in their interview, she talks about how she'll visually go get a sledgehammer and an axe and all these tools and just beat away at that door until she breaks it down. And when she does finally beat it down, she knows what to do and what her next step is. And it was really fascinating because just listening to her talk, I could feel the determination and the looking for the right word, just the strength and the energy that she used to fight and block down, just destroy that whatever is in her path, symbolized with the door. And I thought of how many copywriters I work with, that I coach with, and how many times I myself have done this. I set up a goal for myself, make a decision to step into something, and I'll reach a wall, like a brick wall. And I see my coaching students do the same thing. They'll reach a wall, and being further along in my career than them, I can see what's happening is they're at a place where they're feeling fear and they're afraid to move forward. And a lot of them quit when they get to a certain place. Just the fear is so overwhelming and uncomfortable for them that they just want to stop that feeling because it doesn't feel good. And they'll turn around and walk away and get a job or do something besides break through that fear, persevere through the discomfort, and overcome the obstacle. There's a couple common places that I see this. I see it in the beginning. Sometimes when I'm coaching with freelance copywriters, I'll see it just choosing the niche is fearful for a lot of people, and they really procrastinate, they second guess themselves, they freeze. Another place I'll see it again is just creating their free report and some of their marketing materials. I have a student that I'm helping with this right now, and we have come up with a plan for his free report, and he keeps deviating and totally changing everything that we've talked about and doing something else. I mean, just totally changing everything, and it's just fear there, and the conversation going on inside his head is sending him off in all these different directions instead of straightforward where he needs to go. And as a coach, I can see this and help bring him back into focus. And then I see it again when we get past all the building the business and the creating process, and you really have to shift gears into that go get clients, sell, market. You know, it's a totally different energy going out there and knocking on doors and introducing yourself to people. It's one thing to create your newsletter, and it's another thing to go get people to subscribe to it and sign up to it so you can keep talking. And many people will do it for a month, 2, 3, and when they don't get the instant results and they have to start moving into a place where it's not as comfortable for them, they start to really question their decisions, and sometimes they quit. Sometimes they have that determination to plow through, like I saw in that Lady Gaga interview, and they'll just go, go, go. And when a lot of times, the fear is the most intense and the most scary and strong right when you're about to break through it. But that's where people turn around, is right where they're about to break through it, or they make a detour, or they stop to breathe rather than using that buildup of energy to go, 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 go. And the reason people stop is because they don't know when that uncomfortable, bad feeling is going to stop. They don't know that it's right around the bend, because we don't know. But what's called for is you to continue going through it. And it will stop. It does stop, but you have to keep going. If you detour, or you get to that locked door and turn the knob and say, oh, the door's broken, this might not be the right thing for me to do, I'm going to go over here and try being a graphic designer, doing something besides freelance copywriting. My business mentor, David Nagel, gives a story. I've heard him tell this story over and over and over again, and it's very appropriate right now. He talks about how a young child will fall and scrape their knee, and they'll just scream bloody murder because it hurts. And as adults, we can fall and scrape our knee and we don't scream bloody murder. We know it hurts. We maybe hold our breath or take a couple breaths, and we know the pain will subside. But a young child screams and screams and screams because they don't know that that pain is going to stop. They just have not experienced that before. And it's really the same example with entrepreneurs and people stepping into new things in their life. If you're building a business and you start to get uncomfortable and you go further and further into this uncomfortable zone and experiencing things you don't know, it's the fear is strong and painful, like the child screaming with her scraped knee. It will stop. You just haven't experienced that yet, just like the child. So it's a good example, I think, that he shares, and it feels appropriate to share it here right now. So there's the challenge to you is to recognize where are you stopping? Where are you hitting that door that's locked and turning around and walking away? First, where is the door? Where are you stopping? And then recognizing in yourself, what are the techniques that you're using to not break through that door? Are you not, if you're frozen in fear or you're stopped in your business, something happened. And I have a couple things that these closed doors can represent I'm going to share with you. While you're doing this introspective research, the closed door may represent choosing a niche, having low self-esteem or low self-confidence in yourself. And how does that manifest? That manifests as the copywriter going and taking yet another class rather than just doing it. Hiring a coach or mentor. Sometimes you don't see what is right in front of you and you need someone to help you. Not only does it save you time and like years, but sometimes you just can't see what's right in front of you, that you need someone else to show you. Not following through with projects, not following through with leads that come in completely. Learning a new skill when you need to. Stopping from fear. Accepting that you don't have all the answers. And interestingly enough, that's a tough one for some people. Most people that I coach with are very and I look for people who are very open to receiving the guidance and information available. There are quite a handful of people who are not open to that. They think they know more. They think they know more. So not being open is a block for you. Picking up the phone and calling people, very scary. Not working on your whole self. There are times where you're doing everything right and you're doing the marketing, you're making the sales calls, but it's still not working. Chances are that you have some personal work that needs to be done. And yes, it can affect your career. It doesn't for everyone, but for a lot of us it does. To be fully in your gifts to this world and be fully able to give and receive them, you need to be whole, or striving and working towards being whole. And sometimes that means working on some personal things, or not staying in toxic relationships, or being healthier. I mean, it can manifest itself in a million different ways. So my challenge to you as I end this video is to first of all find and recognize the doors that you're coming up against that are locked, and notice where you're turning around or walking sideways and not busting through the door. The second challenge for you is to recognize what are your stories? What are you saying to yourself? What are you, how is it manifesting, you turning around? Is it procrastination? Is it your life stories getting in the way? Because once you recognize that, you'll catch yourself doing the same things over and over, but the key is to recognize it in yourself so you can keep catching it and then make different choices. So I think that is everything that I have to share today. I encourage you to bust through those doors, those locked doors, and continue down the path to living the life that you choose to create for yourself, whether it's as a freelance copywriter or doing some other thing with your dream. Bust through those doors. If you would like to learn more about the Copywriting Institute and how we can help you move forward with your life, visit www.thecopywritinginstitute.com. This is Kelly Robbins signing off. Have a great rest of the day.